Back again. That's right, 2020 video for 2020. I don't think when I thought of the name 2020 video, I did the word 2020 because, you know, hindsight's 2020, but now it's 2020. So now it's 2020, 2020. Little weird, okay? I have to admit, but I still like the word 2020. So we just got to get through it for 1 year, and then we'll be in 2021, and it'll be the 2020 videos in 2021. Okay, enough of that. I think you got the point. Welcome back, fellas. Well, new season, new people hanging out, lots of cool new stuff going on. But before we get too far into this video, though, because I'm going to talk all about some really cool stuff, Bassmaster tournament that we just finished, some sad news, of course. So lots of things to talk about in today's video. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for watching all the videos. And the support on the videos so far has been amazing. So thank you very much. And McCoy is doing a great job. Wouldn't you have to agree? First of all, thank you, SimpliSafe Security Systems, for sponsoring this video. That's right, they are sponsoring this video. Now, you've heard me speak about SimpliSafe several times. Why? A, because they love sponsoring our videos, and B, I love their products. So it's kind of like a match made in heaven. So it's great. What do I have for SimpliSafe? Well, I have pretty much everything they have to offer, and I'm super pleased with their service and with their products. Okay, what is SimpliSafe? If you're new and you're like, I haven't ever heard of SimpliSafe, I don't know anything about it. SimpliSafe is a security system for your home or your office that's easy to use, 24-hour monitoring, gets a hold of the cops really quick, okay? Super easy to install, guys. I mean, like, real easy. You don't have to call the service people to come out and spend a whole day trudging through your home or your office installing stuff. You literally can install it yourself. I did. I installed the entire office myself. It was the easiest thing ever. Like, literally, put in the window sensors, put in the motion sensors, put in the door locks, hit buttons, it pairs it up, good to go. Here's the other thing that's great. If you lose power, if you lose Wi-Fi, your security system will still work. That's a peace of mind. They're fair and honest prices, guys. 50 cents a day, roughly. I mean, that right there is awesome. And I can remotely activate it or deactivate it from on the road. And I get alerts to my phone whenever someone comes into my office, or if I want to let somebody in, I can just hit the button and let them in and lock it right when they're done. And I have cameras inside my office and around the perimeter that can give me an idea of who's kind of chilling out around the property. So it's really, really good stuff, guys. Incredibly easy to use. So here's what I've got installed here in my office. I have window sensors. I have smoke alarms. I have motion detectors. I have door locks. Oh yeah. And I have the online app on my phone that keeps track of everything for me. So again, I can turn it on and off whenever I want. So here's what I want you to do, guys. Check out SimpliSafe. Real simple. Here it is. Visit simplisafe.com/Scott Martin. So do me a favor, click the link. It's in the description. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it, guys. And honestly, if you know someone that needs to have a security system, a very easy to install, peace of mind security system, pass this on to them as well, okay? Thank you so much for all the support, and thank you, SimpliSafe, for continuing to sponsor our videos and making awesome stuff. Enough of that. That is that. We are moving on. It is time to talk about the important stuff. Well, first of all, before we get into it, a little moment of silence for an icon of the sport, a guy that was not only a credit to the fishing industry, but a credit to humanity. Forrest Wood. Forrest Wood passed away a couple days ago. He lived a long, great life. He is a good man. I don't know how else to say it. Anytime I've mentioned his name to people, they before I can even finish it, they say he's a good man, because he is amazing, amazing person. Him and his wife done so many great things in this sport. They've built Ranger bass boats, namesake for FLW, the Forrest Wood Cup, which was so awesome to win back in the day. And he stood on stage with me. Matter of fact, here's a picture of it right here. Pretty cool stuff right there. I mean, to be able to stand on stage with him and him hand me a trophy was just amazing. And again, he's just such a great man. They just don't make men like that anymore. So Forrest, we're gonna miss you tremendously. His way of doing business, his honesty, just a great man. We lost him, and we lost Kobe Bryant. You know, I've never met Kobe Bryant, but you know, watching all the stories and all the tributes to Kobe Bryant this last week are very moving. He seems like a great guy. I wish I'd got a chance to meet him, but just two tremendous legends we lost here recently. That's the sad news. So moving on to the Bassmasters tournament, guys. Switching gears, let's get back into it now. Bassmaster Tour opens Kissimmee Lake. That was the very first event of the year. I was nervous. I had butterflies, guys. I mean, like, and honestly, I'm glad I had butterflies, because if I didn't have butterflies, then that would mean I didn't really care. I had butterflies like a little kid. Nervous. You know, it's a new tour. I'm hanging out with new people. It's kind of a whole new thing. Now, Andrew's on the tour with us. Brian Latimer's on the tour with us as well. We're going to see Tom Reddington in the Centrals as well. So a lot of the same guys that we traveled with last year are on the Bassmaster Open Trail. But, you know, we've got a couple new guys. Bradley Hallman, Todd Castledine, good friends of mine, and just a whole bunch of other fishermen, new tournament directors, just a whole new way of doing things. So I was nervous, you know, it's kind of starting over my new job. But I got out of there, guys, with a 5th place finish. I moved up even on the last day, not even catching a big bag, had basically 10 pounds and still moved up a couple spots. So kind of a cool deal. But here's how the week went. So for me, when I'm fishing in Florida, I want to find a group of fish. I don't like to find a pattern where I'm running over here and running over there and running all over the lake. I want to kind of find an area that I can settle into. And I found a couple areas on Kissimmee, and I like Toho. Toho, the water was high. The fish weren't moving up on the beds quick enough for me there. I just didn't see an opportunity. And I knew I could get out in that grass and chunk some rattle traps around and throw swim jigs and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, devote 3 days of practice or whatever and find fish out there in the middle of the lake. But that really isn't my strong suit. I feel like my strong suit was gonna be to go to Kissimmee, which it really fishes a lot like Okeechobee, and find some pads, find some fish that are moving up. We had stable, warming weather every day throughout practice and the tournament, so I knew those fish are gonna be coming eventually. And I just kept poking around, and I finally found a couple patches of lily pads that had great amount of fish in them, actually. And it was kind of interesting, you know, to see the progression through the week. I couldn't sight fish there. The water was a little high and a little dirty. You couldn't quite see the bottom ever. I found those fish like the day they got in the pads, like the males got in the pads, and then the next day the females kind of moved up around this is in practice, and I was getting bit pretty consistently with some bigger fish, shaking them off. First day of the tournament rolled around, went back to these areas. I never had a big bite all day. I didn't lose any big ones. Even though I say every time I set the hook I got a big one, I didn't lose any big ones. And I don't think I even had a chance at a big one. It was a weird deal. Those fish were, I think, literally spawning. I could see the pads shaking around occasionally, and I would pitch to them and nothing would happen. I even felt a few of them kind of hit my line. So I literally think they were down there really rolling around. And when they do that, bass are real hard to get to bite. Even if I'm sight fishing, I can physically see them doing it. You can't hardly change their mind. When they get locked in on spawning, it's just a time that you can't really make them bite. It's really, really hard. But I came in the first day with 11.5 pounds, okay? And I'm thinking, dude, this isn't good. I was in 58th place. I'm thinking, well, this is a wonderful way to start my new career on the Bassmaster Tour, 58th place. The whole time I'm thinking, you know, man, I need to make a rebound. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, you know, what should I do? Should I make an adjustment? Should I pull a Hail Mary and go somewhere else? And I knew in my heart that that's what the fish were doing. I knew they were spawning, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I can go back to those same exact areas, fish those same exact pads, and catch more males and get a few of those females to bite, because they're not going to be spawning anymore. They're going to be kind of done spawning, but hanging around the area. And that's exactly what happened. Day 2, dropped 20 pounds, well, 19, 14. I mean, come on, you got to give me an ounce or two. So I dropped 20 on them and made the cut, guys, in 8th place. So I went from like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? To like, I can win this thing. I might be able to pull off a victory here. I could kind of start to see it happening. I was all excited. Everything's great, high-fiving, looking forward to the last day, which is day 3. And somebody comes up to me, and you're talking about being here and then going down to here. Somebody comes up to me and says, hey man, good job on making the cut. Where are you gonna fish tomorrow with that wind coming in? I'm like, what are you talking about, wind? They're like, oh no, it's supposed to blow like 30 tomorrow. I'm like, what? Really? What direction? East, northeast? I'm like, east, northeast. That means I'm completely exposed. That's the worst wind for where I was actually headed found. East, northeast is gonna blow straight in there. It's gonna muddy the water up, fish aren't gonna bite. I'm gonna have to find something new. So basically that's what I did. I got up the next morning, day 3 of the tournament, went out there. Wind wasn't blowing real hard right off the bat, and the water hadn't muddied up, and I was getting some bites. I think I was up to like four fish, first hour and a half or so in the day, 2-pounders or so, nothing big. And then the wind blew really, really hard. I decided at that point to make an adjustment over to the east side of the lake, which is where the wind would be coming off the shoreline. And there was a couple pad patches over there tucked away, that I knew would stay clean. Still be windy, but it wouldn't be blowing in on them, it'd be blowing offshore. Went over there and right off the bat, man, just started whacking them. I mean, like 2-pounder, 2-pounder, 2-pounder. Like power pole down, every hole in the pad, I'm like 2-pounder, 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 2-pounder. And they're aggressive. It's a numbers game. It's just a matter of time before I actually catch a real big one. That's basically what it's boiling down to. It wasn't if I was gonna catch a big one, it was just a matter of when. You know, when you're catching that many males, typically it's just, look, you're gonna 2-pounder, 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 6-pounder. Then 2-pounder, 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 4-pounder. And I was just in my mind going, I can't stop doing what I'm doing. I just feel like I'm gonna catch 2 or 3 big ones and come in with 20, 21, 22 pounds. And I kept pushing all day. 2-pounder, 2-pounder, 2-pounder. And my co-angler throws out behind the boat with a chatterbait and some scattered hydrilla that was out away from the pads. And he caught one about 4 pounds. And I'm thinking, man, well, I wonder if that was a fluke or, you know, maybe I should do that. So he fishes for a little bit longer, he didn't catch one. Then boom, he catches another one about 4 pounds. And I'm like, okay, done deal. So I lay my rod down, I pick up my chatterbait. Actually, I tie on a brand new chatterbait. Trolling motor out in that grass, so I'm going down the grass edge, and gorilla hits. Gorilla hits. It's a very short clip, but here, check it out. Oh my gosh, it was a freaking giant, dude. Yes, it was a big one, dude. Like a real big one. He's gonna jump, dude, watch.
Oh my god.
He's a freaking 8-pounder, dude. Did you see him?
Yeah.
My line broke, bro.
Where did it break it?
I don't, it's like down by the knot. Okay, now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, my line broke. And I know a lot of you might be saying, oh, that's because something's wrong with your line. Maybe your line wasn't good. No, it's not the line's fault. This is 50-pound P-line X-braid. The same stuff I'm flipping all week in the pads. Same thing I'm boat swinging every fish that I never break 50, ever. Especially casting it in an open grass bed with nothing to abrasive at all. I had a bad spot in my line, guys. I did something wrong myself. I don't know when I cut the tag end off, if I nicked the line. I did something because when I brought it in, I reeled it in, there was actually a little piece of a knot still on the end of my braid, like a little half piece of knot. So it broke literally at the knot, down in the knot. I don't know if I didn't cinch it down tight enough. They call the Palomar knot a 99% knot, meaning that it's 99% perfect. So the best I can figure is I got 1%ed somehow. I mean, I've tied the knot for my entire life, and I got 1%ed. So that's the best I can come up with. It wasn't P-line's fault by any means. It just happened. The thing you didn't see in the video, my chesty was dead, is as soon as it broke my line, I knew it was gonna jump, and I kept looking right there where basically my line broke, and sure enough, she couldn't even get out of the water. Like she wallered on the surface. Big old head, big old mouth, just came up and stuck her head up and like went down. I saw the fish between 8 and 10 pounds, okay? Conservatively 8, maybe a 9, maybe a 10, I don't know. It stinks. I wouldn't have won the tournament with that fish, which makes me feel a little better, but I would have come in second. So that would have improved me a few points and quite a bit more money. But nevertheless, great week. You know, losing fish is part of the game. You can't let it dictate too much. I didn't get too bent out of shape over it. It's just one of those things that happens, you know. That being said, the key baits this week for me was the Guggen Baits Bandito Bug. You saw me catching fish on that thing. I literally ran out of bandito bugs by the third day at the end of the day. Like I had no more of the black and blue ones. I had some Okeechobee crawls. The black and blue's totally out. And that bait was good. I'm telling you, it was magic. I mean, there was people that were fishing around me in the tournament the first 2 days, and they obviously weren't throwing that, and they got very few bites. There was something about the profile, something about the size and the action of that bait that really got those fish fired up. Again, 50-pound straight braid, and anywhere from a 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce tungsten weight on a Trocar TK130. I love that hook. You hear me talk about it all the time. It's my #1 hook that I use all the time, and it's a straight shank hook. And I recommend using a straight shank when you're flipping in pads like that because you're just gonna get a better hookup ratio on that fish for sure, instead of throwing like an EWG style. Moving on, we've got a little bit of a break. The one weird thing about the open schedule this year is that we had our tournament in January at Toho, and now we have another one in Texas, which will be the first Central Division event in April, like 1st of April. And I don't know why it's that big of a gap. I know there's the Bassmasters Classic and a few other things going on. So we got a little bit of a break. I apologize for that. But in the meantime, we are going to be continuing to bring you some cool content. We will also bring you some competition videos. I've been talking to the boys and we're trying to figure out a couple of cool things to do. So we're gonna have some cool stuff coming your way. So thank you so much for all the support. Be sure to turn your notification bell on. Check out, again, SimpliSafe. Thank you, SimpliSafe, again. Check out their link in the description. And second of all, share the videos, guys. Thank you for all the support. The channel's growing. Looking forward to some new videos coming your way and looking forward to a great season. So I'm signing off. I'm going. I'm going to go chill and come up with a game plan for our next video. So guys, thank y'all so much. We will see you later. Bam!